Hi everybody, welcome to the latest edition of the Fargo Force Show. I'm joined this week by Blake Lizotte, forward for the Force, first year with the Force. Last year you played for the NAHL, the Minot Minotauros. Tell me about how your first year has gone for the Force and with the USAHL this year so far, Blake.
It's gone well. I've enjoyed the change of pace so far in this league, and it's been a lot of fun.
What's the biggest difference that you've noticed between the NAHL, the North American Hockey League, and the USAHL?
Kids are a little younger, a little quicker, a little more talented on the offensive side of the puck.
You were drafted this year by the Force for the 4th overall pick in the Phase 2 of the draft, and you played all 7 games so far this year for the Force. No goals yet, but you did get your first assist of the season, which we'll show in a minute. Conveniently, it was with this week, so that worked out good. How have you liked new Force Coach Kerry Eads? What's kind of stood out to you as far as his style and the way he's kind of taken over the Force team this year?
He's a very intense guy. Obviously, he's very into details, which is good in any hockey program because you need to pay attention to the details, and it's been a very good impression on me so far. What
are your biggest strengths when people are going to see you? I mean, you only played 7 games so far with the Force this year, but you've been a good goal scorer. You scored in 56 games last year, 52 points for Minot last year. What can people kind of expect as the season goes on from you?
Hopefully a lot of playmaking, obviously, getting the puck to the net and making plays with my line mates.
An area that you maybe most want to improve on, that you know you have a lot of room for growth here this season?
My shooting the puck. I'm not a smaller guy on the ice, obviously, so shooting the puck is probably my number one thing I can get better at.
Now, I tried to read up a little bit, and it sounds like you have 2 older brothers, and they're both a little bigger than you right now, so you're kind of hoping for that growth spurt here. What are you right now, about 5?
About 5'8".
Okay, and your brothers are what?
6'1" and 6'2".
So are you keeping your fingers crossed for that growth spurt, huh?
For sure, yeah, definitely.
All right, well, since our last segment of the show here, the Force have played 4 games, 2 home and 2 road, so let's get you a little caught up on how those have gone. Thursday, October 8th, the Force hosted Cedar Rapids, and Cedar Rapids got this one 4-1. The only goal by the Force was by Michael Graham. The Force were 1 of 3 on the power play. Cedar Rapids was 0 for 3, and the Force did outshoot Cedar Rapids 34-20, but still came up on the losing end. So the next night, Friday, October 9th, the Force welcomed defending league champ and Kerry Eads' former team Sioux Falls to Shields Arena. First time the Force coach squared off versus old squad. It was a great night for Force goalie Ryan Wishow. 32 saves on 32 shots, his first shutout of his USHL career. Game's lone goal scored by Fargo in the first helped thankfully by our guest, or appropriately, Blake Lizotte, with the beautiful drop pass to Jack Adams, who risks it home. Blake, tell me about the assist you made there.
I entered the speed with zone through the neutral zone, and Jack was just calling for it, so I gave a little drop pass, and he ended up burying it.
All right, that gave the Force a 1-0 lead after 1. Sioux Falls continued to pepper Wishow all night, but he was up to the challenge. The Force also played very smart, just 2 penalties taken in the game. The Force couldn't muster any more goals despite 31 shots, but really it didn't matter much. They get their first win of the year. The Force come up with a victory, 1-0, to improve their record to 1-3-1 in the season. And Blake, just how nice to get that first win of the season, get that monkey off your back, and you don't have to worry about getting that win number 1 anymore now.
Right, it's huge for the camaraderie in the room, obviously. Starting the year off kind of disappointingly, but now, we're getting back on track. Thankfully, that first win, brings the confidence up, and the overall group is coming along.
And maybe he didn't mention it, or maybe he did. Any extra significance for you guys or the coach, being it was against Coach Eads' former team? Was that something you kind of wanted to get for him too?
Definitely. Coming from Sioux Falls, he had a great career there, but obviously he wants a fresh start here, and I think getting that first win against him was a good step. All
right, so the next weekend then the Force traveled to Bloomington. Friday, October 16th, they came up with a 5-1 victory. 2 goals from Brody Stevens, 2 also from Riley Tufte, and 1 from Zach Jan. Wishow again good in net, 27 saves. Dennis Smirnoff came up with 3 assists. And then the big one the next night as well, the Force were down 2-0 heading to the 3rd period, and you guys answered for 3 goals in the 3rd, Blake, to come up with it. 2 from Smirnoff and 1 from Jan. A big comeback win. Tell me about that one.
It was huge. We definitely came out not really how we wanted. Came out a little flat for the first 2 periods, obviously, and 3rd period came out with some energy and played Force hockey, and it was able to put a few pucks in the net.
How huge is it, just for mentally for the guys to know that, okay, we can come back on the road from down a couple of goals in the last period? Dude, that has to be a big confidence boost going forward.
Definitely a huge confidence booster, considering, if we play the way we need to play, we can beat any team in this league. And it was a huge win Saturday night, get our team back to 500, so it definitely is big for our confidence.
All right, Blake mentioned it, the team back to 500. Now let's take a look at those standings in the USHL's Western Conference, up to date now. Lincoln leading things with a 6-1 mark. Omaha second, but the Force right there now at 3-1, 7 points overall, so right in the mix of things. And Blake, after a start where you guys didn't really get off to the one you wanted, 0-3-1, right in the mix now again. Does it feel different? I mean, are you guys now, after reeling off 3 straight wins, do you just feel more relaxed, more confident? How do you feel now after these 3 wins?
You're definitely gripping the stick a little less tight, obviously, walk around with a little bit of swagger almost, but definitely, I still need to keep working hard every day in and day out in practice and give our best every game.
All right, let's get back to you a little bit. As people know, there's different ages of guys in the USHL and on the Force team. There are several high school guys on the Force this year, and two go to high school at Fargo South. But you, like several of the other guys, take online classes for high school. Talk a little bit about that and how different that is, or how it helps as far as your classes and with your schedule with the Force being busy as well.
Right, being online, you don't have to have certain times to do school. So with road trips, being gone all weekend and not being able to get homework done then, it's obviously really nice. You get to bring your homework anywhere and kind of do it at any time. So that flexibility is really key with road trips. Do
you talk to the guys that do the school at Fargo South that actually go to the classes? Do you compare, or do you kind of say, hey, this is hard for me, or this works good or well? I mean, how do you see that if you talk to those guys, and how does it really compare to those guys' situations?
It's tough being in high school because you might leave on a Wednesday, and it's tough missing those classes, where online you don't necessarily miss classes, which is nice. So it's obviously tough. A big credit to those guys, because if they have good grades, it's definitely hard work for them.
And you were telling me as well that you take your online classes. You were homeschooled with your mom, and so you take your online classes through her. How does that all work?
Right. It's definitely a unique situation. Not many people are in my situation, but it's worked out really well so far, so I'm enjoying that.
Is your mom a tough teacher, a tough grader?
She is, yeah. She gets on me quite a bit when my grades go down a little bit, but she's overall a pretty good teacher.
Has this season so far, only 7 games in obviously, but has it been what you expected in the USHL? Or if not, how has it been maybe a little different?
It's been about what I expected, a little bit faster than last year, which I like. I mean, it's definitely less hitting, less physical game of play, so it's a nice change up, I guess. I like it.
And how about the expectations? Have you guys talked as a team, with so many new guys and a new coach? What are the expectations, or are you still kind of feeling that out for what this team can do this year?
Every year you need an expectation to win the whole thing. Otherwise, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. So I really think, making the playoffs is a good stride for right now. And once we get to playoffs, we'll handle it from there. What
has been the biggest strength so far of the team? What have you liked the most early on in the season?
We're very offensively skilled. Any given night you can score quite a few goals with our team. So we've got a lot of offensive talent, and our goaltending has been really good so far. So
yeah, Ryan Wishow taking over the last 4 games for the Force and helped you guys to that 3-game winning streak as well. What has been the message from Coach Eads so far? What is he kind of, from day to day and week to week in practice? What is his message? What is he really preaching to you guys?
Playing as a team and being hard to play against. Going out there, being easy to play against is obviously fun for other teams, but if you're out there, playing tough every single night, it's tough for other teams to win against us.
Did he demand? Did you think he, being what he did with last year with Sioux Falls and his time in Sioux Falls, did he kind of have the guys' respect right away, knowing that, hey, he was a coach that led them to the championship last year?
I think so, because everywhere he's gone, in the past, it showed that he's won, won a championship or, had a great season. So there's definitely a lot of respect in the room for Coach Eads.
All right, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for these next 2 weeks for the Fargo Force. Staying home for the next 2 weeks, which is nice for you guys. Friday, October 23rd and Saturday, October 24th versus the Dubuque Fighting Saints. The 24th is Cully's Kids Night. The Force are going to wear custom Cully's Kids jerseys. They'll be auctioned off after the game with proceeds going to the Cullens Children's Foundation. And then the next Saturday, you don't have a game on Friday, the next Saturday is the Halloween game versus Sioux City. It's friends and family night. There'll be trick-or-treating for the kids all around the suites. And most importantly for the kids, the Minions will be there. There's 3, I'm told, so the Minions will be there as well. So that'll be the October 31st game. Always tough against Sioux City as well. And as always, for tickets, you can go to 701-364-3672 or fargoforce.com. Thoughts real quick, Blake, on the upcoming games and staying home for the next couple weeks as well? I imagine that's nice.
Every weekend's tough in this league, so we have to have a good week of practice here, get prepared for that. But definitely nice to be at home. It's definitely an advantage.
And are you guys, is there just a little bit more excitement, a little bit more, pep in your step, I guess, from coming off that, keeping that 3-game winning streak going, and want to get off to the ice again, I imagine, as soon as possible.
Right, it's definitely in your head. Early in the year, you want to get off to a good start, put yourself in a good position to make playoffs. So it's definitely an exciting time right now.
All right, we'll see what happens with the Force as they stay home for the next 2 weeks. That's all for this edition of the Force. Blake, Lizotte, thanks for joining me. Great job and best of luck this year.
Thank you very much.
All right, till next time, everybody. We'll see you later on the Fargo Force Show.